Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where we're going to compare Bolt.eu and Lovable.dev. We're going to be using the same exact prompt for both, and we're going to basically be comparing the process of from scratch to actually deploying the app in a domain using Netlify. We're going to be also integrating authentication to both of these systems. We're going to be adding some integrations, and yeah, let's see how it goes. If this is something interesting for you guys, stick around, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment them below. I read all of my comments, and yeah, let's get started. So before we start, I actually wanted to show you guys this resource that I found called Bolt.starter.com, and it's basically a website full of different starter templates to use for your Bolt project, right? So you have everything from, chat interfaces to dashboards to job websites to portfolios to CRMs, right? E-commerce stores, everything. And basically, we can click live preview on the CRM system, go through the different tabs and see how it looks like, right? It's pretty darn good for a starter template. And then you can launch it in Bolt.new, and it doesn't use any of your tokens. That means if you're like using a free account, it's not using any of your tokens, so you don't be worried about that. So yeah, just wanted to show you that to begin with, right? So now let's go to the following. Let's bring Bolt.new on the left and Lovable.dev on the right. So let's go through the prompt that we're going to give both of these, and let's just read it. So create a CRM platform for a web design agency with 12 employees, so 5 designers, 5 sales reps, and 2 project managers. The platform should focus on managing leads, tracking projects, and streamlining communication. Lead management is number 1 for sales reps. Track new leads, in progress deals, and close deals. Store client deals, company contact info needs, budget, assign needs to specific sales reps. Integration with email outreach tools. So we don't really need this right now. We could do this eventually in the future. And status pipeline, cold, warm, negotiation, water loss. Great. Project tracking for PMs and designers, right? So manage ongoing projects, so client name, timeline, assign team. Track project status, briefing, wireframe, design, development, review, delivered. Assign designers and PMs to each project, automate task reminders. So we can delete this one. Team collaboration, each team member has a dashboard for task in progress, comments and internal notes on deals, projects, notification system for updates, reporting and analytics, track monthly revenue, close deals, monitor team performance, view client lifetime value. Okay, so this is all good. Let's just copy this and let's make sure to paste that here, right? And let's go ahead and let's see what else we can add here. So enhance prompt. This is actually a very interesting thing that Bolt has and that Lovable does not have. So let's just compare it. Let's wait for it to be done, actually. So it's enhancing the prompt. So design a comprehensive CRM platform for web design with 12 team members incorporating the following. So client requirements, modern intuitive interface, optimized for data used by designers. Okay. Okay. So I guess we can use this for both. And let's go ahead and submit these prompts and see which one is quicker. So we are about almost 2 minutes in. Lovable's still building something, and Bolt already finished it, but there seems to be a few, failures going on. Potential problems detected. Show problems. Terminal error number 1, which is something with the Vite, and terminal errors number 2, also with Vites, and something that it failed to import the settings page from the app source. So let's just click on attempt to fix, and let's see if Bolt fixes their problems. And Bolt seems to have fixed the problem, so we can go ahead and hide this chat, I believe, and we can just go ahead and make this wider and refresh this, right? And we can already start seeing that there's this interface where we have leads, we have a specific card with John Smith from Tech Corp. He has a score, he has a stage called Warm, right? You can't really click on any of these. We have a project which is basically Tech Corp's web design project. It's almost done. 12 things have been completed, but 3 are still pending. Analytics. This is the revenue from the past couple months, not bad at all, right? And these are the different lead sources. So social, website. So it looks kind of standard. There's a lot of space here to improve. We have a notifications thing here. We have the specific profile. We have the leads. There's no dashboard. It would be nice to have a dashboard. And now there has been an error with Lovable. Okay, it's still basically finishing up. With Lovable, it's taking a little bit more time. Let's just see how that finishes. And now we can start seeing the Lovable one. So if I were to go like this, it's also quite, small. But if I were to go like this, then we can see the whole thing. And we can see kind of Morty from Rick and Morty over here. Pretty funny. We can click on this. We can see something. We can't see any notifications, can't see any messages. It does do the dark mode to light mode effect. We see the leads. I can't really move them, which is something that I want to eventually do. We have many more leads than the Bolt one. We have the project management. So briefing, wireframing, design, development, review. So it kind of matches, the industry a little bit more. So we can compare the project management. So if we go here to projects, and let me just maybe open it up here in the tab. If we go to projects, we only have one, and we can't really see the rest. We have design, but maybe Bolt created other ones. Let's see. So that looks pretty cool from Lovable. Let's open this also in a new tab. And okay, so that's the thing that's not working, the index page, right? So the team page is also not working. Right now we have leads, projects, analytics page is working. No, it's also not working. So the only things that we can see now are the leads and the projects page. And it's called Inukin, I guess. Weird name. Anyways, we can go ahead and do the next steps, which would be trying to make these other pages show up. And in this one, basically all the other pages show up, but I would like to have a dashboard. So let's just prompt that for Bolt. Can we create a dashboard that is that plays the role, or can we create a dashboard that shows all of the main features? And then for this one, we can go ahead and write something like, I cannot see the dashboard page, team page, calendar page, messages page, documents, or analytics page. So let's try to kind of create these different pages for Lovable, and let's also fix this or create this dashboard page for Bolt. All right, so now for the Bolt.new CRM platform, Bolt did add a dashboard, and we can compare the dashboard between Bolt and Lovable. So in terms of design, I like the left panel from Lovable more with the logo up here. We do have the search function that Bolt doesn't have. All in all, there's more functionality here in Lovable for the left panel and for the top. In the dashboard, we have overview tasks team. I like that from Bolt, that you can kind of add different tabs, but eventually you could also do the same thing here in Lovable. But it's just interesting to see what both of these tools created, right? So we have active leads, active projects, revenue, conversion rate. So we have total revenue, active projects, new leads, and team utilization, so team productivity. We do not have that here, and that's a pretty interesting stat to have in a CRM. So revenue overview, we have it more as we have a bar graph here. I prefer something like this, where it's kind of a line. We can select different types of graphs, so we can also select a bar graph. I like the UI of the Lovable one more. Feels nicer. Maybe it's some type of library that they're using. Project distribution, lead sources. So I like the project distribution one a little bit more. It's something that I would see more common in a web design or e-commerce or marketing agency, right? We have project progress, and we can already add a project here, which is cool. And that's the things that we're going to add now. So we're going to add some more functionality in these different sectors, right? Active leads, recent tasks. So I would say that this one is more of a full dashboard, right? And the design is like clearly better in terms of typography also. I do like this blue more than this blue for the left panel, but again, in Lovable, what we can also do is, you can get this as a full screen, and you can edit this, and for example, click on this background and basically change this to a darker blue, right? So we can go like this, or maybe make it like this blue, and go ahead and choose this one, turn it into this one. This one can go, maybe be a darker one, right? Because it's the bottom. And we can click on save, and that can inherit that, right? So that looks good. Nice. So that's actually something that I really like about Lovable, that you can, do those edits so quickly, right? So we have the Lovable one and we have the Bolt one. Now what we want to do is we want to start adding some functionality to these apps. I think the first one that we want to do in Lovable is to be able to move these cards to other columns in the lead management and the lead management and project management tabs, right? Because everything else is more of a different format, but these two, I would like to be able to move these cards around, right? Like hold and drag and drop them around. And here I would like to have that view here in the leads and projects, right, for Bolt. So I want to try to build that same that same type of format as it is in Lovable here in Bolt. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with that. So here in Lovable, I'm saying in the lead management and in the project management pages, I want to be able to drag and drop the cards into the different columns. So let's submit that. And here in Bolt, I'm saying for the leads page, please structure. So let's just correct that, structure the layout to be in columns based on stage. And for the projects page, please structure the layout to be in columns based on the project category. Right, so let's just submit that. Also in Bolt, I'm writing in the leads page and in the projects page, please give me the ability to drag and drop cards into different columns. So let's just submit that, because it also created this briefing, wireframing, design, and development. Here there's a little bit more, which is nice. And while we wait for Bolt, let's go back into Lovable and see how this was made, right? So we have these different columns, and now we can basically just move different things into different columns. The UI is still not perfect, right? But it's working, which is pretty interesting, right? We can go ahead and even publish this to like another tab with a preview domain and basically just try it out here. And you can already start seeing that it's working. And let's just make it full screen. Yeah, you can see that it's kind of buggy in terms of like you don't really see it. You see sometimes it goes here, but it's working, right? And we can move this website into review, into delivered, and boom, it's delivered, right? And eventually it'll be cool that once it's delivered, you know, we can get like a Slack message or something like that, right? That's kind of like the next step of all of this. But we're seeing now that slowly but surely these different functions that we're adding to our app are working. And now I believe Bolt is also finished. So I asked Bolt to do the very same thing. So we can go ahead and move these things. And yes, it actually looks better in Bolt with dragging and dropping. And it's working. So that's great. And we can go back to projects and do the same thing. And yes, it's all working, right? Obviously they don't sync. So if I were to move this over here and then come back here, it goes back to its original position because, I mean, we don't have any user data. It's just like a facade, right? So now the next thing that I want to do with these two apps from Bolt and from Lovable is to be able to add new projects. So right now, if I'm in this projects page here in Bolt, I click on new project, nothing happens. If I'm in Lovable and I am in the project management tab, click on new project, nothing happens. So we're going to have to create a prompt that tells Lovable and Bolt that whenever the user clicks on new project, they get this field of different inputs, and then once they submit these inputs, it gets portrayed in this page. So what I'm going to write here is when the user clicks on add lead or new project, a pop-up with input should appear, and when the user finishes adding the information, they should be able to click on publish, and then the new lead or project will be shown in their respective pages. So let's just copy this, submit this here in Lovable, and submit this here in Bolt. Okay, now we can go ahead and see the different results for each one. So we have for Lovable, we can go ahead and open this tab, go to lead management, and so let's just move one of these over here. Let's add a new lead. Let's call it Apple. Let's give it like a name like Lucas, Marjorie. Let's give it like some random Florina at apple.de, and then some random phone number. What is this? A cold lead, a warm lead? Potential value, a lot of money. Website source, it was a cold call. Let's add this lead. Okay, we need a real email address. We could just put this one. And we have under warm lead, where was it? Warm lead. Yeah, we have down here, Apple, Lucas, Marjorie, right? So we have it. We can click on it. It would be nice if we could click on it and it would basically pop up and we can read more, but that's another type of function that we can add. Now let's go to the project management and try to do the same. Just, you know, showing you that if we go back to leads, it's gone because it doesn't save this information. It's just a facade. That's something that we have to add eventually here, that we have specific user information. And all right, now for the project management, what we can go ahead and do is project name is for the Apple landing page. And this is going to be from Lucas, right? He's a client. The briefing was a design. We can put like development. The budget is $500. And description is make it clean, man. So let's go create project, and here we have it, right? So we see the $500, but we can't really open it. It was due a couple days ago. So, April 18th. So it's due like in a month. So that's great. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Lovable version, right? Now we can go to Bolt, and let's just go ahead and go to the leads first. So again, we can move these around, which is great. Just moving them around. We can add a new lead. So we can give this like Apple, company size, you know, a lot of people, industry, tech. So Bolt is actually providing us with more information here. Contact email is like Lucas at apple.com. Contact phone is my phone number. Position CFO, CEO, and CTO. Project timeline many years. Budget ranges a lot. Lead source, direct, project scope, make it nice. Create lead. And then we have it over here. So score 50. I wonder what the score is based off of. Let's try to, well, I mean, it's interesting that it does that score. I don't think that in Lovable it does that with the score, but no, it only does it with the progress, right? I actually prefer the progress line more than with the score because, this is a CRM tool for an agency, right? And with the agency, we want to get work done, and we don't really want to have this score, right? So in an app like this, there's a bunch of different things that you can improve still. I mean, we still have this little, bug when trying to move things over that needs to be improved. When we click on this, we would like to, have a pop-up at least. We'd like to have some quick actions maybe. This filter, well, it doesn't work, as you can see. So, fixing that would be amazing. So there's a bunch of different things, adding a team member, deleting one, quick actions, being able to upload a picture, but there's also like integrations, right? So for example, what if we were to, in this team members, we can integrate it to Slack or something like that, or to some other type of communications tool, right? Or what if in the lead management, there was like some type of AI chat here in the bottom of the screen that you can chat to about these specific leads, right? So these are different integrations that we can add with third-party tools. So for example, this chat app can be something with the OpenAI API key that you can integrate it to ChatGPT, right? And it kind of understands what your leads as a kind of knowledge base, right? Or with your teams, you can integrate this with what's it called, Slack, through different webhooks, for example. You can also integrate this to your Google Calendar, right? You can integrate your messages also with Slack somehow. So there's a bunch of different things that you can do, right? We can also generate documents. But now the next thing that we want to do is we want to add some type of integration. And I'm thinking something with this OpenAI API. So let's get started with that. So the next prompt is in the dashboard. Let's integrate an AI chat that uses CRM data as a knowledge hub where the user can speak to the chat as a type of shortcut to understanding certain data points. Please use the OpenAI API key for this. So let's just submit this, and let's also paste this into Bolt, and let's kind of compare to see how these two tools work with these integrations, right? In this case, it's OpenAI. And in this case, if you want to access your API keys, you can just go to this platform.openai.com/usage. And I mean, just go over here to API keys and you can basically create a new one, right? So what's great is that in Bolt, you can actually go into your files and add your API key manually. You can't do that in Lovable. It's only read-only. You'd have to kind of sync that to GitHub, which can be quite tedious at times. So that was actually nice that Bolt allows you to do that. But now what I basically prompted Lovable to do is just to have this type of, section over here where you can click here and add your API key, click on Save Changes, and there should be something, there should be some type of chat somewhere. If we really look, I don't really see it, but it should be here. Let's say no thanks, and no, I don't see it. So I do not see, so let's write after adding the API key, I do not see the AI chat in the dashboard. So let's just fix that really quick, and then let's go here, and then we do see an AI assistant, and it seems to work. We can see give me the revenue info for Feb. And let's see what it returns. I'm sorry, but I'm an AI assistant and the data provided doesn't contain specific revenue information for February or any other months. However, I can help summarize the project budget information. Okay, let's ask it to summarize the project budget info. So we do have something beta happening. We can eventually, so the total budget for the 2 projects mentioned. Okay, so it does see these projects and it has some information about that, but it doesn't have any information about the revenue because this is all like not real, I guess. So let's ask about the leads. Give me some information about the leads. So I think it was a very easy way to, add the API key here into Bolt in comparison to Lovable. In Lovable, it had to create like a certain input just for that. So it says certainly, according to the data, there are 2 leads, right? So there's this one and the other one. So, okay, so that's great. It's actually working pretty well for, okay, so it doesn't really say that it's supposed to be 3 leads, but whatever, something is working. So let's go here. And I still don't see any. Okay, we see AI assistant. Here it is. Okay, CRM assistant. Hello, I'm your CRM assistant. Ask me anything about your needs. So probably it was there before, but I didn't really see it. So talk to me about the e-commerce platform project. What is there still? What are the next steps? So let's just see how that goes. So the e-commerce platform project is currently 45% complete with 12 days left to finish it. Wow, that's really cool. So it's a cool little feature. Obviously, it was easier to add in Bolt because in Bolt you have access to that. Here you have to kind of add the OpenAI key in the interface, which also works, but I think it's easier if you just add it to the actual app, to the back, to like the files of the app, so that it's stored there with your API key. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. All right, so that's kind of a good example of adding an integration to our different apps in Bolt and Lovable. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to do is add some authentication to both of these. So I'm going to be using Superbase. I know that we can use Firebase also for Google authentication, but I prefer Superbase, as I've been using that a lot and it's pretty damn good. So we're going to connect these both to Superbase. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Superbase here in Lovable, and I'm going to go connect to this one and connect, and basically go back to the project. And now this is connecting, and I'm going to do the same here. So we have this new button up here in Bolt. So let's connect this, and let's click on Bolt CRM and click this, connect. Let's just go connect project. And now it's also connecting to Superbase. And the next thing that we're going to do here is add a sign in and sign up page to the projects. So let's just submit that. And now it's going to basically draft up a new page where the user can sign in and sign up and basically add that to Superbase. Right now it's in Lovable. They're creating a new table for Superbase. So we just have to apply these changes. And then once we've reviewed the SQL of this table, it's going to run it, and basically it's going to store the user data there inside of Superbase. And so now for each one, we do have a sign up page. So right here, this is the sign in. I can click here and sign up in Lovable. And something to look into is that for each one, I created a separate project in Superbase. So this is for Bolt, and the other one is for Lovable. And we do have several auth providers. In this case, we're just going to be using email, but we can use phone, for example. We can use Google. We can use GitLab, Figma, We're just going to use phone, and we can, hit on confirm email. We don't need to really do that, but if we keep this on, basically the users will need to confirm their email address inside of their email. So we can just, leave this off for this tutorial for Bolt, and then I'm going to leave it on for the Lovable one so you can kind of see the difference. So right now we're in the sign up page. Let me just refresh this really quick. I'm going to go and click on my email address, right? I'm just going to put some type of password, create account, and we are in. So sign in and we're in, right? So that's basically user authentication, and we can go ahead and check and see we got some advisor over here. We got one warning, leaked password protection disabled. Okay, so we did get something. We can go to table editor. Sorry, let's go to authentication. We can probably see some of our users here. Yeah, here we are. This is me, this is my email, and this is my user ID, right? So now the next thing to set up is deploying the website. So publishing it on Lovable, deploying it on Bolt. So we can just click on deploy here on Bolt. So I'll help you deploy this application to Netlify. So it does it automatically. Here we can click on publish, and we have different options. We can publish this like this, and it's going to create a published project with this custom lovable.app domain, similar to what Framer does or Webflow, I believe. Or we can connect to a custom domain if we already have it. And if we click on this, we can add a domain that you own, and a pop-up will eventually show up. They're partnering together with this tool. I don't know what it's called. Oh yeah, Entry. Exactly. So here you can just continue and basically update your own domain. But we can also go ahead, and what we can do is we can connect this to GitHub, create in this account, which is mine, and we can view this on GitHub. And let's just go back to Bolt and see what the thing is here. So your site has been successfully deployed, and you can basically see it here. That's the deployed site with this Netlify app. And basically you can transfer this Netlify product to your own account. You can use this claim URL. So basically what you do is you just get this claim URL and open it, claim apps in your account, and basically here it is yours, right? And then down here you would just add your own domain. So it's as simple as that, right? And to get your own domain, I would suggest using something like GoDaddy or Namecheap and just connecting it there. And here what we can do is just, you'd have to go into Netlify. So we're here in Netlify. This is our same, account for Bolt and for Lovable. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into sites, and we're going to add a new site, and we're going to import an existing project from GitHub. So I'm just going to connect it to my GitHub, and we're going to see the name is Creative Collab Nectar. You can just click this, leave this empty, and deploy. And basically Bolt has this deploy button inside of Bolt. And now the deploy is in progress. It takes a couple of seconds, but it'll eventually show up once it's ready. So at the end of the day, we do have these two apps that we deployed. So we can go ahead and click on this, where we have our, dashboard right here, right? And we can even, here you'd have to add the OpenAI key. And once you have that, you can go down here and talk to the assistant, right? So that's working. And then the other one, which is this other page, if we go down here, which is the first one, is the Bolt website, right? Where we have the AI assistant over here already working. And we can ask, how are the leads, right? So yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm just trying to do these experiments just to show you guys how this works. Obviously, this would require much more, functionality right? We just did the very basics, but if you really put, the hours and work into it, you can build something really amazing. One day I'm going to build a full app here in front of you guys so you guys can see it. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.